Welcome to another episode on the Unlearned Wisdom podcast. Today, we're going over episode 26, accountability. We have new episodes that are gospel-centered every week that you can apply to your life today.
Kind of jumbled, but
No, I mean, that was pretty good.
Hey, I
it's
did
all right.
good.
That was it.
Nah. That was I.
Gospel-centered
Every
episodes.
episode is a gospel-centered.
Every episode is
Every-
a gospel-centered.
every
Every
episode.
episode is the gospel-centered lesson for you to apply to your life today, man.
If he turns on the accent, he can nail it.
Yeah, just do every promo like that.
Every episode is gospel-centered episodes.
Here, now trying the accent.
Gospel-centered episode that you can apply to your life daily today. Maybe something.
What's today's episode, sir?
Today's episode is episode 26, and it's talking about accountability. A lot of people struggle with taking accountability. A lot of people struggle with other people taking accountability. People become like doormats because they'll take accountability, but their spouse won't. It's sometimes one-sided, lopsided. Sometimes it's no-sided. No one takes accountability. So, we're going to get into that. And we're going to be talking about a lot of other topics too.
And sometimes people be crying about everyone else should take accountability when accountability is actually a very testy topic. Now
It
that I
is.
think about it.
It is.
Yeah.
It's difficult
it's
for a
not.
lot of people.
No, I don't.
No.
No, I don't. I don't need to take account. I'm good. No, but
My
yeah.
middle name's accountability.
Dude, I saw a comment today on one of the episodes, and this guy had written he said, hot take. I forgot the way he prefaced it, but he's like, hot take. Jeremy and Aaron remind me of Pumbaa and Timon, and Johnny is the Lion King. And I was like, which one is the fat warthog? Yeah, I was like, who is Pumbaa? Because he said Jeremy and Aaron.
Jeremy's Pumbaa.
He said-
Jeremy's Pumbaa. He's the Asian Pumbaa.
I was just looking,
God.
and dude, I was looking down at my shirt. It's got like a
Yo,
guy.
you got skinnier though.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you know what's
yeah.
funny? It's getting skinny except this. I don't know what's happening.
Gotta do those
Dad
crunches.
bod.
Hey, I feel like he's Pumbaa.
Yeah.
Look-
Yeah, I'm definitely not the skinny little rat one.
I'm the short fat warthog. I was just like, yeah. Well, anyways, I just thought that comment was funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I would say that if it's Lion King, he's definitely more like a
Scar.
Oh, true. No, he's the toucan,
Yeah.
the annoying.
And we're like the hyenas just laughing at everything.
We're the evil ones.
That's funny as hell.
That's funny, but I thought
That's
that was
good.
funny.
Who would you be in The Lion King?
Hey, no. Hey, what are three other characters that we would be
Three
Disney
movie
classics. What would your Disney animated character
if we were
be?
like Aladdin?
characters. Is Boys in the Hood Disney?
Yes, that's a classic.
I would be
Yeah.
Ricky. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I think you would be Mulan.
It's Mulan.
Everyone got quiet. It was like, what the?
I was waiting for like the why. Why would I?
Oh, we know. Why would I be Mulan?
'Cause you're
50-50
a
if we
girl.
keep that.
Talking to the mic.
If you
man.
guys see that, we
That
we
was
made a risky
funny as
Yeah,
decision.
just lower it a little bit.
Okay,
You're like,
sorry.
This guy, put your knee down. I feel like he's like
Yeah.
hiding. He's like,
Oh God, I have to sit up straight.
every-
too. Okay,
every-
right
every-
hand over left.
yeah, every object he's covering his face. All right. Well, are we just jumping right into this? Is rage baiting a sin?
Yeah. Rage baiting is a sin. According to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16 and verse 19, rage baiting is actually a sin. So when you look at Proverbs 60, it's one of the things that God hates. So for example, it says Proverbs 6:16, one of the things that the Lord hates, right, is sowing discord. So, and then verse 19, it says, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. So what is rage baiting? It's basically like baiting people into like getting angry for like no reason, whether it's attention seeking, right? Like none of that is like transformative. Like no one's trying to help you. Like, so God is like very positive, right? He's like, if you're going to say something and tell the truth, it has to invite healing. Rage baiting doesn't do any of that. It actually harms more than it heals. And it literally makes you pissed off like for no reason. And your whole sole purpose is just to stir the pot. They're like, yeah, let's get them to get angry. Let's get them out of character. Let's stir strife. And then other people who don't understand will then judge and be like, hey, he's really not like that. Like, and then they'll get angry, you know, and then they'll distrust people. And now you're creating like this mob mentality of just like, yeah, this guy, he got angry, dude. He raged, man. And it's all in the culture. Like even in gaming, I see little kids like 13-year-olds on Call of Duty, like, I'm going to kill you, man. I'm sleeping with your mom. It's like, what the heck are you talking about right now, dude? You know, so yeah, it's just wild stuff like that. It is a sin though. It is a sin. You know, are you doing it to, you know, benefit people? No, you're doing it for clicks, views, likes. I mean, people just do that just to do it, to troll people, as they say. And trolls are demons. Sheesh.
It's crazy because like attention spans have gotten so short because of these algorithms. It's like we know what it means to like, you have to hook somebody, literally. And the only way to do it, because the stakes have gone so high, is to be as controversial as you can be.
Yeah.
Right. But it's also funny that how really like you're not that controversial, but people feel like you're controversial because of
my past.
Yeah, your past or whatever it is.
Even my tonality, right? People think that like assertiveness, they mistaken that for like arrogance and ignorance. Like my passion, they think I'm super arrogant. But like you guys know, when I meet people, I just literally don't even talk. I'm literally sitting there. I just let Jeremy talk like 90% of the time. Yeah, literally. I'm very introverted.
So speaking of rage baiting, I came across this video and I was just scrolling on Instagram and I came across this video and it's this pastor strapped to a rock climbing wall. And I'm like, all right, my first initial gut feeling was like, all right, here we go again. Another mega church pastor, whatever it is. And then he's like preaching this story and then he falls off the rock climbing wall and he hits the punchline or whatever it is, right? Like God will catch him or whatever. It was like, it was actually like a good lesson. And I was sitting there and I go to the comments and everybody's fuming mad. They're like, look at this guy, another one, blah, blah, blah. But then I was just like, I sat there for a second and I was like, but I'm a visual learner. And now that lesson will stick with me forever. And he did a really good job with that. Like, I'm like, why do people get so angry when pastors use props? And so my first thought is he could spend the money better, right? But what if that church does community service? They give a lot, they donate, they help their community.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, this will keep people more engaged. And for myself, I'm like, that whole video, I was locked in. I was just watching him while he was doing this kind of whole act. So I guess my question to you, Mr. Johnny, is why do people get so angry that pastors use props?
I think, it's like you said, I think people get angry because they think that you can allocate the funds and the resources, like the donation money, better. But at the same time, what's the whole point of tithing? Isn't it, and donating money? Isn't it to build the church? And if, let's say that one rock wall, like, I don't know, let's say it costs $10,000 or whatever to like do that whole set. Okay. But it saves people. It locks them in. I think $10,000 to save a soul is priceless. You know what I mean? So like, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, I think the better question to ask is not why do people get mad? It's like, why do we even care about what a Pharisee has to say? I think that's what matters, right? Jesus didn't care about what the Pharisees had to say. He just continued to preach and they said all kinds of stuff about him. You're Satan, you know, you shouldn't be picking, you know, ears of corn on Sabbath day. Like, he's like, whatever, man. Like, I'm me and I'm going to do what I got to do. I mean, he would explain himself. How many times have we been on the internet and we try to like explain ourselves, or we try to even explain ourselves to other people and they don't even care. They have this preconceived notion and this determination to like misunderstand you and purposely use things against you. And they just see all of the flaws through like skepticism. So why do we even have to worry about that?
Yeah, you're not going to win no matter what.
You're not. Galatians 1:10 is pretty clear. It says we don't persuade man, right? If we persuade man, we don't please God. We have to live for God. Well, I think honestly, like if people are locked in and they receive salvation through that, that's a great thing. Me too. I'm a visual learner too. I got a GED education. I count my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He's like I got colors, pictures.
Yeah, color, picture, salvation. That's what it is. It's okay. If you can do those things and you can use those things, all of it is a tool for the kingdom. But people are just, you'll notice like people hate the most. The ones who hate the most are the ones who are like sitting on their couch. They're just not doing anything. They have time to jump in the comment section and just be like, look at him. He did this. He did that. But I bet you're not saving souls like that pastor is doing. I bet you're not doing anything that's, you know, fruitful or faithful for the kingdom. I mean, you're just sitting there being frustrated. Because think about it. If you guys are happy, right, and you have gratitude inside of your heart, why would you even worry about anything like that? You'd be like, man, that's dope. Like God is blessing them enough to do that in their ministry. Like that same God is gonna bless me. We're part of the same team. But what they're doing is like, you're this, you're that, you're that. How can you come from a position of happiness if your heart posture is already like judging and like sad and miserable? People who are happy don't judge people. People who are happy accept people. They're happy. People who are judgmental is because they're either projecting, deflecting, or they're just miserable people.
Exactly. And that's why the question isn't, oh, why do people hate on church or pastors that use props so much? The question is, why do people just hate so much? Because they're going to hate regardless, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, even if, look at Johnny, he doesn't use props and they'll still be commenting, why are you taking pictures with them? It's like, you could do everything perfectly. The sermon is perfect. The Q&A is perfect. The word is sound. And then because someone drove out 3 hours and they want to take a picture, it's like, no, you should have gone home immediately after. It's like, you could do whatever you do.
So true.
They'll hate on it regardless.
Literally,
So like,
the world is like that, right? If you work too hard, then you're money motivated, you're greedy, you're coping with something, you're running from something. If you don't work hard enough, that same person, you're lazy, you're unmotivated, you're not determined, you're like complacent. I mean, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's just the honest truth.
I think the biggest bar you said though is like the same God that blesses them could bless you, but you're busy being upset.
Exactly.
And it's like, that's so true.
Yeah. The
It's
same
like,
God that's given you blessings, you're like throwing away those blessings and focusing on the curses and cursing other people.
it's like scarcity mindset. And it's also just like crazy pocket watching. Although sometimes, not gonna lie, sometimes I see some ridiculous mega church setups where they have like a Santa on like a track. And I'm like, yo, that's like,
you're the guy, bro. You're being the guy right now. Like, what
I'm
if
just
that
like-
saves someone?
yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, what about
Flip so quick.
Okay, but what about I'm taking accountability.
Oh,
That was a lesson.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
I was just setting it up for
You're
the
trying to tie it all
to
in.
better
Yeah.
Come on now. This is 40 chess. Where would you draw the line when that becomes a distraction and people only, you now just created Coco Melon adults where it's like, where's the rock climbing wall? This sermon's boring.
Yeah. When you start to place those things above the gospel is when it becomes a problem. Like if you're worried more about dopamine hits versus like actually preaching the gospel through the message, that's when it becomes an issue. So you could say in that rock climbing, like it just depends, right?
Yeah.
If you notice like your congregation getting sour, if you don't do these theatrical things, right then and there, they're already like idol worshiping the props. They're worshiping the setup, the performance above like the gospel, right? You don't have to do all of that stuff. If you do it and it like opens a person's heart, that's fine. But if they're like, I need this and this is like the level that I need every single week, that's a big problem. Because they didn't have that in Paul's time. They didn't have that in King David's time. They didn't have that in Matthew's time. They weren't like, building stuff. Like they were just preaching. So yeah, I mean, nowadays, because we're so tainted and the generation is like, they're just, like you said, the attention span. But like, it can't be the main reason. Like, okay, let me make this clip to be able to keep people's attention span, like over the gospel. So they'll clickbait, they'll do all crazy stuff. That's not okay. Yeah. Preach the gospel. Yeah. And whatever.
I'm just imagining behind Johnny, he's just got like Subway Surfers, like slides up on his screen. And he's
My phone's on 1%, so let me.
oh my God. Hey, do you guys remember? Wait, hold up. Aaron just said his phone's on 1%.
Aaron, you can use this.
Hey, no. But I want to, no, listen up, everybody. While Aaron is going to get his charger, I hope you guys remember earlier in the podcast, maybe 10 minutes ago, where he's telling me to get myself together, come prepared. I just find this is really fun. Must be God teaching Aaron a lesson.
Sir Germ
Take-
is the petty.
Take the plank out of your eye. What is it? How's it go?
Yeah, take the plank out of here.
Yeah, you got a plank in your eye, buddy.
Where you
I always
dust
eat
the
my
sawdust.
Wait, what? How's it go?
Where you judge the sawdust in your brother's eye.
All right, Johnny, I got to be honest. Is saying the word damn, like I have categories of swear words, obviously like really bad that I'm stopping and I'm getting better at is F word, SH, those like really harsh ones.
Yeah.
Damn is one because it's like a meme. It's like, damn, is it?
Technically it is like under the laws, like Levitical laws and like OG, just under the old covenant. But
I'm laughing because I'm a scroll.
Yeah.
And it's like he's calling your brethren a snitch, is punishable by death.
So if you're gonna live like that, you better like follow all of the old covenant laws. Like I'm not saying you should just say the D word all the time, or like even hell. Like when people go, "What the hell?" Like that's considered like a curse word or whatever. But at the same time, so is wearing mixed linen. So is like lusting after somebody. So is like, I don't know, like wearing makeup. Like, I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff. Like, if you're gonna do that, you better keep it all, And I would say it like this: we don't keep the commandments to be saved. We keep the commandments because we're saved. So yes, you should tame your tongue. Yes, you should watch what you say, watch your intention, guard your heart, of course. But if they're sitting here and they're like gonna judge other people because they're not doing that, then that causes debates and strife because someone's gonna tell me, "Oh, you can't say the D word and you can't say the F word," and it's like, of course not. But then what are you doing? What if I pull out a whole laundry list of what you're doing that's incorrect? What is that gonna do for each other? Just get mad at each other? It's like,
for me, I was like, because I felt that way too. At first, I was like, oh man, I swear too much, whatever. Then I was like, I was like, you don't live by the law. But then the thing that made me want to change naturally, because you would always tell me like, dude, you don't have to like try. If it starts, if you don't want to, it will naturally stop. And I was like, all right, we'll see. And then what changed it for me was because I hate when people tell me what to do. I want to do the opposite. But what changed it for me where I was like, okay, we're going into these places, and sometimes a word would slip out when I'm around certain people. And I'm like, that makes them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't want that person to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And because I care about their feelings. And that's how I naturally stop versus I don't care what people think about me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. But that's very Christian too, right? When you think about other people, like you're thinking because you're representing us now, you're like, dang, what if it makes Johnny look bad? Or like, then that's beautiful. That's what Christians do. That's what Jesus did. He's like thinking about us. And so, yeah, the whole point of that is just to have that heart posture.
I literally have changed what memes I repost on my Instagram story in case somebody that knows Johnny is like, what is this guy posting?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that. That's what you're supposed to do.
You ruined my life.
Your stories used to be crazy. No, I hate how Instagram like shows you what shows your friends what you're liking. It's like, why is it exposing me like that?
I just see a steady feed of air and I'm like, okay.
I'd be unliking things.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, your buddy Aaron, he's into like the dumbest, horrible memes, the stupidest content. It's like, don't show my friends what I'm liking.
It's always just like a kitten getting raked into like a dustpan and like a bunny cuddling with a chicken. And I'm like, okay, Aaron.
I'll DM it to Jeremy. I'll be like, I can't like this one, but check this out.
There's also, I hate that the repost button is under the comment button.
Yeah.
I've been going to like,
I'll be accidentally reposting it. I'm like, whoops. Oh, don't look at this really weird niche Pokemon meme. Like,
hey guys, I want to throw a free event in your city, but I need your guys' help.
So when you go to a Johnny Chang free live event, you can expect to see a sermon from Johnny, teachings from the Bible, a Q&A with the audience, fellowship with our community, and even a meet and greet and pictures with Johnny. So if those things sound interesting to you and you want that event to come to your city, make sure to send afters to the number on screen, 323-613-3577. Just text the word afters, and that's how you can help.
But in order to throw these free events, we also need space. So if you're a church that wants to partner with us and will allow us to use your building, please hit the form below. And what we're ultimately looking for is somebody that can house anywhere between 500 to 2,000 people, depending on the city and how many people RSVP. But again, just hit the form in the bio, fill that out, and we will reach out to you.
And guys, send that to your churches. If you want us to come, send the form to your church. Reach out to them for us. And genuinely tell your friends to text in too. Because like when we pick which cities to go to, it's based off of phone number data. We see where are the most core of the heart community members. So if you're living in a random city and you're like, I don't know if he'll ever come, text in. You text in, tell your family to text in, tell your friends to text in. Because we see that and we say, oh, there's a ton of people out in Florida. Let's figure it out. Let's find churches. Let's figure it out. So that's how you guys can help. Seriously, text in, send the form to your churches. If you guys can basically set this all up, like Johnny will show up.
And the last thing is we'll give you some hints for upcoming cities. So we're trying to work on something in LAOC. Ooh. There may be something in New Orleans. There may be something in Florida, maybe
Okay.
Chicago.
Oh,
maybe-
okay. You're leaking too.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Like,
Bay Area.
Info in the description.
We're
Info in the
going to
description.
a different city every month until the end of the year. So make sure to text in if you want to be on that list.
Yep. Bye.
Speaking of the internet in general, I thought this could be potentially interesting. I compiled a list of famous people or creators or musicians who are Christian. And it's not necessarily that their whole brand is about, like, obviously there's a ton of famous people who are always about there talking about Christian.
Yep.
Look at DJ Khaled, like, God did.
Yeah.
Like,
I was thinking you were gonna say like Cliff Connectal. I wasn't thinking DJ Khaled, but yes, I get your point. Continue.
I was saying he's made it a part of his brand, saying like, they ain't believe in us. Who? God did. It's like everyone.
That's a Christian influencer to Aaron.
Anyone who
He
just
said
says
God
God.
He's always been a staunch supporter of God,
Yeah.
basically. But here's some people whose brands have absolutely nothing to do with God whatsoever that may or may not surprise you that are actually Christian. And some of this is like recent changes, has been recent news. So did you guys see that Suicide Boys came out as Christian now?
That was crazy.
Yeah, they flipped.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy, which is a crazy name, Suicide Boys. They
Yeah,
had a ton
isn't
of
that like permanently shadow banned?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
I mean, what, dude? You're not.
SEO
They make
terrible.
like a money sign for the S. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, they still already know, bro. Shout out to you.
That's
You guys
so
are not
funny.
sweet boys anymore. You guys are living boys,
I
life
think
boys.
just one of them is Christian.
Yeah, screw it.
Yeah,
But I
that's
mean, the other guys
crazy.
going with it.
Hey, but there's this
That's
this
dope.
one line. I've forgotten one of their popular songs, and now he changes the line. He
Yeah,
says, like,
so it
saving
went
souls or something.
viral at a show at Phoenix. The original line was "Satan, please come save me," and at the show he said, "Jesus Christ, please come save me."
Whoa,
Yeah.
let's go.
Um,
That's banger.
So that clip went super viral, which is super cool.
And you know how we have a tagline where we want to get 100 million people into heaven?
Yeah,
They have 100,000. That like with this album, we want 100,000 souls to go to
That's
heaven.
right. Shout out to them. That's dope.
yeah, which is crazy because their newest album is named "Thy Kingdom Come," so it has like a ton of just church noises and
Wow.
imagery and
Easy.
stuff. And they had a bunch of like inverted crosses tattooed and jewelry. I think it's just scrim, but they replaced it all and like covered it up with Christian symbols, like literally covered up the inverted crosses, which is really
Wow.
crazy.
Hey, Unalive boys, please come on the podcast. We would love to have you.
Yeah.
It's fire.
Make and feature Johnny Chang on one of your songs. Maybe you could do like the interlude, you know?
Like, don't trust your thoughts.
Yeah. So for all the Suicide
wild.
Boys fans out there, that music is now A-okay.
Imagine
Ruin it.
Johnny rapping in that style.
Yeah. You should get voice lessons from Scrim.
Yeah.
That'd be super dope though. Another really random one that's like not very apparent is Chandler Hollow from Mr. Beast. Do you guys know Chandler?
Yeah.
So like obviously,
He has no idea.
I don't know who that is.
okay, so obviously if you don't know Mr. Beast, you got to be living under a rock. You know Mr. Beast.
I know Mr.
Okay,
Beastie.
okay.
His name is Mr. Beast, End of Times.
If you don't know who Mr. Beast is, that means you got out like yesterday. So Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber on earth, like one of his like sidekicks
Yeah.
recently.
I've heard of him.
Yeah,
I think,
Chandler. He just it wasn't some big announcement like the Suicide Boys or anything, but he recently just started posting like Christian like Bible verses of the day. Like he would go
Dope.
on his TikTok, read a little bit of the Bible, and just kind of talk about it.
Wow.
And he has like a huge influence on like the younger generation because it's Mr. Beast. I mean,
Yeah.
they have obviously the youth, so that one's super cool.
I feel like they're in Charlotte, I think, or North Carolina. North
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah,
Yeah. So like it also kind of on par. They got the Bible Belt.
true,
Mm.
Yeah.
true.
But hey, that would be an interesting guest.
That would be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if all of them are Christian or just grew up Christian just because of where they're from. But he's like a practicing Christian.
dope.
So super
Amazing.
interesting. The next one that recently like came out or flipped. Did you guys see Shia LaBeouf
What?
recently flipping Christian?
Yeah,
Holes?
yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Holes? Not Transformers. Not when you hear Shia LaBeouf, what do you think of?
Yeah, Transformers.
Right. Holes? Well, what's the best Shia LaBeouf movie? The super slept on one. Do you guys remember Eagle Eye? That was Shia LaBeouf, right?
Oh, wait.
Was it?
Is that him?
I don't know.
My favorite is even
Might have to go-
my favorite is Even Stevens by far. Did I
Even
butcher
still.
that? Okay, you said I got said. They looked at me with a deadpan stare. I was like, "Oops."
Because I also
I was confused. Boy Meets World guy and
yeah,
Shia
see,
LaBeouf.
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
always
yeah.
confuse them.
That's what I thought.
You know what I'm
That's what I
talking
thought
about?
you were confusing it with. That's
Yeah,
what.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I looked at you blank stare.
Bro,
I
that
used to.
sucks. That's how we feel. They're like,
Hey,
they all
that-
look alike.
Did I tell you that I met Shia LaBeouf?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I was randomly picking up like burritos for my friends or whatever at this. It's in Glendale, and this guy walks in and he's got like a rugged beard, and I'm like, that looks like Shia LaBeouf. And then, but I'm like, it'd be so awkward if I went up to this like kind of homeless looking guy and be like, "Are you Shia LaBeouf?" And he's not. But I was like, he looks like Shia LaBeouf. And then I was like looking for any markings, and I saw like a tattoo. So I was like, Shia LaBeouf tattoos. And then I like they were like old dated. So I was like, Shia LaBeouf recent picture. And I found like a grainy one. I was like, dude, that's the same one on his hand or whatever. It's like, that's Shia LaBeouf. And so then I went up to him when he was outside ordering. He does not have the friendliest demeanor. He was talking to somebody. I just like went up very slowly. I was like, hey, Shia, I just really loved your John Bernthal interview. That was the craziest story I've ever heard. And I really appreciate you for being vulnerable. And he was just like, thanks, man. I was like, all right, see ya.
I saw a clip of him where I think recently he was a couple months ago, he was walking through, I think it was like France or some European country. And then they were just like, can we take picture? Shia, can we take picture? He's like, all right, what do you want? What do you want? What do you need? All right, let's do it. You ready? You ready? And then he's like, he just walks, but they're like bombarding him.
Yeah.
And then he literally said something like the hood side of him came out of him, you know? And he was just, I think he's from a Mexican hood, but he was like basically like, yeah, like step away from me. You know, I'm about to pop off basically. I was dying. I was like, dang, bro. The BC Shia LaBeouf was coming out.
They were crowding him. The same guy came like 3 times, like, I already gave you like 2 pictures.
Yeah.
He's like, get out of here.
Yo, low key though, like I would be like that too. That's too much, man.
Dude,
That's
too much.
People over here, paparazzi are crazy, man.
Paparazzi is a wild career that's like legal.
Yeah.
Like it's like you could be outside my house.
But
and-
you know what's super interesting though? Paparazzi has completely died down, if you think about it. It really, really has. It used to be like celebrities would walk out of bars and there'd be flash, all this crazy stuff.
True.
It's completely gone. Like now you see very, very rare shots. It's all pre-set up. They call their stylist to call TMZ.
Yeah.
They're just lower.
they be chasing Justin Bieber though.
But like
They do be, but
the streamers nowadays like have their own paparazzi, like
Totally.
live stream
It's just
people-
kids now, like sniping them.
Yeah.
sniping.
no, I
yeah.
looked it up because I was interested. I'm like, what happened to all the paparazzi? Like you used to go out to certain places in LA, like even like Rodeo, and there would be paparazzi, but it's just not the same anymore. But it's obviously because of social media and everyone just puts themselves online. Pictures of people aren't that rare anymore. But be like those pictures just, it's not you can't make a career anymore because those pictures don't bring tens of thousands of dollars. Like back in the day, if you got the exclusive picture of Justin Bieber, you could sell that for thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. Nowadays, it doesn't bring that demand.
What's the new version of paparazzi clipping? You get the clip first.
Yeah.
you get
That's
the
so
That's
true.
Just get and you break the
Clippy.
news
Oh,
first.
no.
True.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
literally
And you
is
link it to a meme page.
That
That's
is
so
it.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the videos of clippers who will get the clips out like seconds after it happens. Like they'll be
Yeah.
on it, clip it, post it.
We need
minutes
that.
later. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
growing. The
It
clipping
is.
class is doing clipping class.
Clipping class has on over 5 million views in the first
Wow.
one.
Sheesh,
Wow.
Let's go.
That's everyone clipping for this podcast. If you're watching right now and you're like, "Ooh, maybe I want to clip," just check that out in the Discord.
It's
Clipping
every
class.
Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Link is in the description of this YouTube video.
Discord.
Aaron teaches you everything he knows about the internet. And Aaron
Discord.
knows a lot.
He does.
Go to Discord.
It's also a free lesson.
And we give out a ton of rewards. You can come VIP to the events. You can skip the whole line. It's a ton of crazy stuff. Just go to Discord and check it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyways, to keep it going, a little sneak ad in the middle of the segment.
Oh, that's it? That's no more celebrities?
No, to keep
Oh,
it going.
okay. Oh,
To keep
got
it
it.
going. Okay, the next one who is not just has nothing to do with Christianity, but brings it up all the time and says that they're really into their faith. Do you guys know Ninja? Ninja, the Fortnite
okay.
streamer?
Yeah.
I love Ninja. I'm getting a mild reaction here.
What do you love about
It's like Ninja. I thought it'd be like, no, Ninja. I mean, his meme was massive.
Is he
It
the
was
one who's always
massive.
like, clip it, clip that? That guy?
Yeah.
but it was
It was the imagine if Ninja got a low tapered fade.
Oh my
Imagine if Ninja had a low taper fade. You guys remember that meme?
What?
No.
I actually don't know that meme at all.
I know.
I'm like not.
Oh my god! Well, someone in the comments has to back me up. That meme was massive.
He got so excited about Ninja. The other ones were cool, and then these ones were like,
Okay,
Wait,
jokes
was
aside,
it?
Ninja was the biggest streamer on earth for like 2
Yeah.
years straight. He was making multiple millions of dollars a month just playing Fortnite. I
Yeah.
saw Ninja at Lollapalooza, one of the biggest festivals on earth.
Wasn't Ninja a Counter-Strike player in the beginning?
Probably.
I feel
believe
like
it.
that's like he went from Counter-Strike to like all these
Fortnite.
other.
Probably.
Yeah, CS
believe
was
it.
big. You guys remember Counter-Strike back then?
so fun.
That was
Loved
fun,
it.
bro.
Ruined my life. Yeah, it ruined my. I was so bad at school. Crushed my attention span. Got grounded so many times. Made me violent and angry. Taught me every slur. Ninja say, or what is he doing recently that people are realizing is crazy? Or why is he suddenly repping it? Or
Well, because
talking about
people will either say things in the chat or he'll just casually bring it up and then he'll randomly like go on a little side tangent about his faith and about why it's important to do these things. He's like, I don't care if people make fun of God, but I'm just going to do what I do. And he's like, he's always makes a point to go to church all the time. And he's just like, I mean, we could pull up many clips, but over and over again, I keep seeing clips of him coming up where he's just like very adamant about being a good Christian.
Yeah.
And that he's not going to like fold on certain
Good for him.
values. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he bagged out. I remember
Yeah.
Facebook video or one of these platforms tried to launch into gaming. No, it was like they tried to launch a streaming platform, cut him a $50 million deal. The platform, Microsoft or something.
It was Mixer by Microsoft.
yeah.
He got away with one of the biggest jump and runs of all time.
$50 million, and within a year, the platform collapsed, and he kept all.
It was like a
they
$10
still paid him out.
million deal for something, some amount of time for $50 million. And then, yeah, the platform shut down and he kept it all and went right back to Twitch.
Yep.
A sick deal. Amazing job. Good job, Ninja.
Sheesh.
Like I said before, obviously you got DJ Khaled. I mean, he's been a lot.
That one's shaky.
but
I don't know if he's actually.
I know it. No, it's good. He's always been a supporter of God, and he's been good. Also, this is kind of widely known, but Justin Bieber. Justin
True.
Bieber is a widely known Christian. He's constantly talking about Christian themes in his albums, and he's constantly like making efforts to not forgo his values. He makes really great Christian music.
He needs to drop a gospel album.
Totally.
It would be so good. Like church, even if he covered like church songs, like he's made a Christmas
agree.
album, make a gospel album.
He's like one step away from just making like the best gospel album of all. Like he just needs to actually just do it. Like Purpose, that album was like super Christian and it was really, really good. We should use some of those songs.
Definitely.
It's kind of hard with your content. You see like this big tattooed guy. It's like, I need some purpose. But and then lastly, I don't know if you guys know this, but Steph Curry.
Oh,
Mhm.
Steph Curry
you
actually
knew that?
I knew that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Really?
that I wasn't too shocked.
Steph Curry actually puts Philippians 4:13 on
Mhm.
every single pair of shoes.
Yeah.
it's like stitched on there, like an in and out cup.
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, I can do all things through Christ. Always points. It's somewhere on his shoes. I don't know where, but
Through Christ who strengthens
Hey,
me.
1-on-1, you against Steph Curry,
Oh,
but
he'll
you get
cook me.
but it's to 5, and you have a 2-point lead. You think you can? It's a 3 or a 2 to win.
Dude.
2 and a
no,
1,
dude.
and
I'm
no.
not that dumb. I've seen basketball players, even like left bench basketball players, like cook people like nothing.
Yeah.
Like Mike Scalabrini, I think his name. What's
Brian.
his name? Brian Scalabrini.
Yeah, the White Mamba.
Yeah, White Mamba cooking
Yeah.
people. I'm like, dang, it's another breed to get to the NBA, man. Shout out to all the NBA people who follow me too. I think like Josh Hart and all those people. Like, but yeah, when I look at them, I'm like, you guys, it's not
Yeah.
easy, man.
It's so
It's
crazy.
not
It's like
easy.
0.05% of the world make it into the NBA, and it's like you
Dude.
think that you're better than them.
No
You
way.
think you have a chance.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, the Brian Scalabrine story is super funny.
I remember he was on the Bulls when I was in high school, bro.
But do you
We would
remember
go-
what he did when he went on the radio?
No.
So basically, because he just kind of sat on the bench, people would talk trash back then. They didn't have
Right.
YouTube really, so people would just talk trash.
Right.
So he goes on a morning radio show, and he was like, "If anybody wants to play me 1-on-1, come play me 1-on-1." And they film it. You can go find the videos on YouTube.
Dude, he smashes everybody.
Smashes them, and it's
Yes.
hilarious. And I'm like, that's the most awesome thing. It's
It
just
is.
like,
That
yo,
video. So no, because he would literally always be on the bench when the Bulls would play, and we would go in high school.
Yeah.
And then if they were ever in the lead by a lot, like just slamming the
Yeah.
next team, they would bring him out and just give him some bench time, and the crowd would go wild. They'd go like, "Let's go!" if he scored or whatever. So Yeah, I think he was known to just people would talk trash, like, oh, he must be the worst player, whatever it is. He's a bench warmer. And then, and even the bench warmers in the NBA just smacked regular people.
Bro.
That's funny.
Easy. They don't even try, too. It's crazy.
One of my favorite doom scrolls is going to Chris Brickley's page. You know, that one trainer in New York? He's just a basketball trainer in New York, and all the pros come and train with him in the summer. And you watch these pros, they're literally just shooting threes from like 50. Like when there's no one defending them, they can shoot from any distance and they make it over and over and over. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Just like poetry. Yeah.
Crazy.
But that's all of them. If anyone else out there wants to claim their Christianity.
Is there any surprising ones? Because like there's a lot of people that follow you. Has there been anybody where you're like, whoa, I didn't realize you're Christian or interested?
Not really, but I just realized in general, most people are just like, there's a wave of people just transitioning into Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dang, it's like the Suicide Boys one was like wild, actually. I'm like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah.
There was like the Hulk Hogan's, Ozzy Osbourne. Like, it was like all these people, right? I'm like, that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, no one, because I'm not ever really looking to see, oh, does this guy have salvation? Like, I'm just preaching the gospel. I just think it's really cool that everyone is transitioning and like there's this revival movement, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I see a lot of people following you. Like, I don't want to call anyone out, but I see a lot of verified, famous people that I'm a fan of following you.
Yeah.
And it's like,
really, that's crazy.
Yeah. And it's just like, if anyone wants to reach out, if anyone's, if anyone's saved and has a platform, I see it.
But why one part of it of why I feel like Christianity is kind of having this resurgence is because the 10 years before this was very degenerate, right? It was like the birth of the internet. Also, things happened in the world like COVID that isolated people, really drove people like mentally insane. It was a lot of like, there's a lot of like dark things that were happening in Hollywood, like the Me Too situation. Yeah. So a lot of bad things were happening to people. It was the rise of OnlyFans, things like that. And it just felt like previously, because I was part of the world heavily, where it's just like, you can do everything on your own, do whatever you want. You're your own man, you're your own woman. You don't need no man, you don't need no woman, whatever it was, dating apps, all of that. And I just feel like it all just flipped on its head. Everybody thought those things would make them happy, and then it just left them feeling empty.
Yeah. You can't appreciate light without the darkness. So definitely needed to go kind of super like left field to like, or like super off the rails to like appreciate just the normal things in life.
Yeah. Off that topic though, what does it really mean to come to the end of yourself? And then like, how does someone know that they're really at the end of themselves?
Just realizing that your own plans, your own strength, your own self-belief, all those things kind of just come to an end. Like, you can't stop struggling, right? So if you're a person who's like, man, I struggle and no matter what I do, like basically how to tell if you came to the end of yourself is if you've read all the self-help books, you've made the money that you can, you've provided, you've, done everything that you can, character development, everything, and you still feel empty. That's how you know you've basically came to the end of yourself. And what that means is your story stops and then God's story starts, basically, right? So you have to be able to realize, like every person in the Bible who comes to the end of themselves realizes, man, I'm nothing. God is like everything. So it's just coming to this position of no matter how much I've tried, I can't do it. I need grace. I need mercy. I need to be saved. So let's say for depression, if you can't get yourself out of depression, it means that, you're pretty much at the end of yourself. God has to be the one that lifts you out of your depression. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 9, it says, but we had the sentence of death in ourselves, that we should not trust in ourselves, but in God, which raiseth the dead. So again, your breaking point basically is God's building point. That's what it means.
Just on the topic of what we're talking about, I feel like it's harder for people to come to the end of themselves because everything is at your fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all these inputs from like so many different things of like, if you're lonely, there's a dating app. If you're hungry, I don't know, gluttony has to do with this, but it's like Uber Eats or social media. It's like all these inputs of like okay, I feel this way, but it looks like that person's happier because I seen them, or there's this person teaching me this thing that I could learn on the internet, or I can ask an AI. Do you think that it's harder than ever for people to figure out if they're at the end of themselves?
1000%, because you still have dopamine, you still have all of that. So that's why I said coming to the end of yourself is literally you've tried everything. You've looked at other people's highlight reels, because that's exactly what it is on Instagram or, Twitter or whatever. Like, if you're focusing on other people and you still have some kind of hope to like think that you can obtain that, you haven't came to the end of yourself yet. It gets to the point where it's like nothing makes you happy. Nothing shakes you out of that mindset of like, I can't do anything. That's when you know you're fully at the end of yourself. So yes, it is way harder nowadays because like you say, everything is at your fingertips. Everything is impulsive. Instant gratification is rampant. You could like literally chat GPT, like you could do anything. You got Google Maps. Like you don't even need to remember your directions. You could drive the same route literally like for 10 years and still use this and like not know it because you have Google Maps. You don't have to use those parts of your brain anymore. So it's people are literally withering away and they don't even realize it. That's the enemy, right? He makes you like get distracted to where like at one point you're just like, why am I here? Like, why am I so empty? So that route always leads you back to being empty and lonely when you trust yourself, when you trust in Satan. So, yeah.
What would you say if like, because you listed all those things, let's say you have money and it doesn't make you happy and, all that you checked off about a relationship, whatever it is. But a lot of times people don't have money or the relationship, but they always think of the idea that if I had those things, I'd be happy. Easy for him to say, because he was already there. But I know in my situation, I would be different.
Yeah.
How do you help people avoid the trap of, if I have that thing, then I'll be happy?
Yeah. To be honest, you can't. Like the Bible is very clear about that every man has to like, a man trusts in his own ways. There are ways that seem right to a man, but in the end is destruction. So God tells us that we have to walk that path. Like God came for the sinners, meaning people who are lost, people who are messed up. So people who still think that they have a way, they can't turn to the way, which is Jesus, right? So there's nothing we can do to really make people see that, right? I've said this to, many people who come and they're like, well, my son's doing this, that, and a third. What do I do to make him see it? I mean, if you could, he would have seen it already. Like it's not like you haven't tried. Your efforts basically never brought solutions. They just brought more pain, right? So God is he made it that way so that we could just leave it up to God, right? So you have to give it up to God. You have to realize, man, there's nothing I can do for this person. We can explain things, but we can't make you guys accept things. That's just how it is. Like the Bible is this way. Parenting is this way. Relationships are this way. You could be literally like loving on someone so much, but if they trust their trauma or they're not healed from it, they're not going to see your love. They're just going to see themselves and they're going to, exalt their feelings above what you do and think and feel, Yeah.
Before, like something that was really cool that I saw the other day is you have 1 million views on Pando.
Let's go. So what is Pando, Mr. Jerome?
Pando is created by God Behind Bars. Shout out Jake, shout out Isaac, shout out the whole squad. And basically what it is they figured out a way to get these prisons to give tablets to the prisoners with faith-based content.
Yeah.
And so, Isaac was very gracious and he put the Unlearned Wisdom podcast on there. And so far you've got a million views on there.
Sheesh, how long have we been on there for? 6 months?
6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Right around the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, it probably does better
so
than
26 weeks.
Yeah.
I think Pando performs better than YouTube every single week. So, hey, like, comment, and subscribe right now.
Wow.
Yeah, but my point in all that is for any inmate that's listening to us, we want to come to your prison. And if you have the ability to talk to the directors or people that work there, the wardens,
you can request us, guys, honestly. And it's beautiful because from Pando, there's so many people that are in our congregation was like, bro, I listened to you when I was in jail. I listened to you when I was locked up, male and female, which is crazy. All that got us through some tough times. So with that being said, if you guys also have family, who are locked up, because people who are locked up, their families get locked up with them too because of all the sadness and all the grief and all the separation. So if you guys have brothers and sisters, family members, you guys can also tell them to look us up. But yeah, we have 1 million views. That's crazy.
If you guys want, if you have the ability to get us to come to your prison, just have the prison reach out to unlearnedwisdompodcast@gmail.com. Unlearnedwisdompodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to come to more prisons and yeah.
Yeah. Now comes all the spam.
Yeah.
And I've used them and be like, Johnny, can you tell me about that? Just kidding. But yeah. Hey guys, we finally have Core of the Heart merch. We got t-shirts, we got sweaters, crew necks, we got windbreakers, we got joggers, we have hats, we have journals, we have even leashes for your fur babies.
Yeah, so head to the website if you want to see the Core of the Heart merch. Also, it's been out for a few months now, so we see a lot of good reviews. Like, people have been getting their merch, wearing it to the live events, which is really fun to see. And we took a lot of time to make sure that the quality was really good. So check it out. Everyone seems to love it so far.
And if you guys want any new items, just comment them on the videos. What do you want to see us make next? Thank you.
Speaking of new items, we have new items on the way. We have women's clothes and children's clothes being made right now. So babies, all the way down to onesies, and even toddlers. So K through 12, and then women's clothes too. So, but it's very modest. Don't worry, ladies. And coming soon.
Swaddle your babies in cloth.
So we're going to get into the main topic of the podcast today, which is accountability. And I want to start off with just maybe a personal experience that I had with Pastor Kim. And you guys have seen the soft white underbelly, but like that was a big, big lesson on accountability for me, because when Pastor Kim said, Johnny, you're right, but you're miserable, I didn't realize he was actually having me take accountability, right? He said, like, if you think about your father's heart, he came to America and, he was obviously very stressed out. And yes, he did certain things to you, but not everyone that gets beat, or not everyone that faces trauma, like handles it by just reacting to being in a gang and like doing all these things. He said something like, there's drugs everywhere, but not everyone's a drug addict. There's gangs everywhere, but I'm sure in your area, Johnny, not everyone was a gang member. So you trusted yourself a lot. I think what you should truly, he kind of challenged me to take accountability of like this victimization mindset that I had, where it's like I could be wild and as crazy as I am and hide behind my trauma because my dad created that trauma for me.
Can you I know people have seen the soft white underbelly, but can you paint a little color? Because I'm a little confused. So what led Pastor to say, stop hiding behind?
Yeah. So Pastor Kim asked me a question. He said, how is your relationship with you and your father? I said, it's horrible. I don't care if he dies. Like, I hate him. And he's like, yeah, you're right. But Johnny, like, you're also miserable. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of true. So the next question was, then what am I supposed to do? Like, I guess that's just part of life. Me and him are never going to reconcile. He's like, there is an option to reconcile if you want to hear me out. I said, sure. And he's like, so your father obviously came and he did all of the things that he did. And you're right about that. But because you're right, you're miserable. He gave me the analogy of, two countries going to war, and both countries believe that they're right. So that's why they can't back down. And when they're both right, railroads, phone lines, buildings get destroyed. The whole ecosystem is messed up, like all kinds of stuff. The economy, everything is messed up. But when one side surrenders, even though basically takes accountability, then railroads are rebuilt. Everything is restorative, and peace just starts to flow into everything. So that kind of gave me a perspective of like, man, maybe there is an opportunity. But even then I still hardened my heart. And I was like, nah, Pastor, I don't want to talk to my dad. I didn't ask to be born. I am the victim. I'm not the aggressor. And I'm not going to apologize to an aggressor. That's not okay. That's not cool. And he said, Johnny, you're right. But at the same time, if you listen to what I'm saying, you also didn't have to join a gang. Like, there are people who've been, raped. There's people who've been, essayed. There's people but not everyone is like stuck on that. Some people move on from that. Some people obviously internalize that. Some people then go on to repeat those things, but not everybody, not the trauma doesn't affect everybody the way that you think it is. You're kind of like hiding behind the trauma. Basically, you're kind of like allowing that to enable the victimization, which then allows you to not take accountability and just be a monster. He's like, I can tell that you just don't really want to like manage your life. You don't want to worry about stress management, emotional development, like character building. You don't care. Your simple master key is, well, I was messed up by my dad and my parents, and that's it. So that's why I'm a gang member. I'm a gang member because of my dad. I don't have receptive skills because of my dad. I don't have an emotional, maintenance. What is it? Emotional regulation because of my dad. Everything was just like I was pushing it towards my dad. And it was just like this weaponized like incompetence, right? Where it's just like, I don't know, I'm just like that, I guess, because of my dad. Like everything was my dad. And he saw that. And he was like, if you're like that, Johnny, you'll never be miserable. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years will go by and you will stay like that.
Oh, you mean you'll always be miserable?
Yeah, you'll always be miserable. Yeah. So 10, 20, 30 years will go by and you'll be like this. And so I didn't want to be like that, right? In my heart, I was like, dang. But again, like, he was trying to tell me, like, you have to invite healing. You're taking what I'm saying as accountability as like condemnation. You're not taking it as an invitation, right? I'm inviting you to more healing, more peace, but you see it as like, no, this is too much. And when he put it in that perspective, I was able to be like, man, that's very true.
Really?
Yeah. I was able to look at that and go, okay. But again, I didn't know what to do. I was like, because I want to heal. I mean, I didn't want to be mad at my dad all the time. I didn't want to be that way. I didn't really, I felt like I didn't care. But I think Pastor saw inside of my heart that a person who has abandonment issues always longs for, reconciliation. A person who doesn't have family is always going to look for a pseudo family. Like, because why do they do that? Because they want it at the end of the day. I could act like I didn't. Oh yeah, I don't care about that. I'm actually genuinely peaceful. I could even believe that. But why is it that when he talks about it, it still irked, like it made my skin crawl. It still made me feel like empty and lonely and sad. And like, so I feel like, Pastor did a very good job of like teaching me that if you take accountability is like bearing the truth. And then when you bear the truth foundationally, you're no longer deceiving yourself anymore. You're literally being honest about everything. And you're sitting there and you're going, okay, I'm going to trust in God. I'm going to trust the word. I'm going to trust and I'm going to man up to this. And then that's when like all the healing started to come. It was literally me following Pastor, but that meant me taking accountability for all the times that I could be reckless and just blame, like victim blaming, right? Like blaming other people, blaming my dad, blaming my mom, blaming my brother, blaming my hood, blaming the homies, blaming society. It was the blame game. I was blaming everyone, and only Johnny Chang was right. That doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're like that, he said, you'll be miserable. That's what he kept saying. You're right, but you're miserable. You're right, but you're miserable. Accountability, it breaks that wall. It allows and invites healing. But if you're like stubborn and you're prideful, you're not going to take accountability. But that's what the enemy wants to do, is to keep you prideful so that everyone else is wrong. And then now you're isolated. Right.
No, I love that story. And it's so relatable because probably everyone listening can think of that thing that they always blame. Like, as you were saying it, I was thinking like, yeah, there is that thing that I always blame. It's not my dad, but I have the thing that I always blame, even to myself. No, it's okay. That's okay. It's pretty personal. And everyone out there is probably thinking of their own thing. Mm-hmm. But it's true that the answer is that I really need to take accountability for it. It's like the thing that I always blame for me, I definitely need to take accountability for. Yeah. And it's just really interesting. I think everyone out there listening right now probably has like think if you don't know already, think deeply. Yeah. What is the thing that you always blame, whether you realize it or not? And maybe you have to take some accountability for it. But
if this podcast gets 10,000 likes, Aaron will reveal it. Right?
Sure.
No, okay. So, and I'm just playing big brain. There's somebody out there listening to this and they go, yeah, he was in a gang and he was reckless. But I've stayed on the straight and narrow, right? And I can actually also think about some of my friends where terrible upbringing, one sibling is nuts and the other one actually is on the straight and narrow, and on paper doing good in life, right? And that person is listening and they're like, yeah, like you have to take accountability, but what if I truly did nothing wrong? Mm-hmm. What am I supposed to take accountability for?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you don't have to, if it's not affecting your life too. I mean, it was affecting, that's the difference, was in my life, it was affecting me.
No, but let's say it is like they don't have a good relationship and they're like, man, I still, I still hate my parents. Let's use that example. I still hate my parents, but they're like, I did everything right on paper though. Like how do they, what kind, like, how would you surface maybe what they need to be accountable for?
In that case, they wouldn't have to take accountability if they're genuinely didn't do anything wrong. But then they could also be more understanding, right? You don't have to always take accountability, but you have to be like, maybe my parents, like in my case, was immigrant parents. They didn't know the system. They came here and they were sold literally a pipe dream. They were told that like the roads were paved in gold, like literally. So my parents came thinking like, wow, there's so much opportunity out here. And obviously it was really hard for them. The language was hard for them to learn. My dad till this day does not know the language. He's been here for like freaking 30 plus years. And so it was difficult. So for us to be compassionate and empathetic, I think we can take accountability of we probably prejudged our parents and then didn't understand their struggle, let's say, right? And even if they're not, even if they're born in this country, there's a lot of things that times have changed. People have gone, maybe they have generational trauma. So we can take accountability of not being empathetic towards their past. We can take accountability of not being like understanding of them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I like what you said. Understanding is the next level too. It's not always like accountability. It's being understanding.
Yeah.
But also side note, like whoever did that marketing and tricked them into thinking there was gold roads.
Crazy.
Amazing marketer.
Yeah. Would you like to work for Core of the Heart?
Yeah. But okay. So you were ready to take accountability for your actions and then you approached your father. What about in the situation if you're, it takes two to tango. So what do you do in the situation when you're ready to take accountability and you approach that person that may have hurt you, but they're not willing to take accountability on their side?
So I think accountability is kind of like forgiveness in that it's really more for you than it is for other people. Because if you're going to take accountability and waiting for other people to take accountability, then it becomes transactional, right? So when you look at Proverbs chapter 9, verse 8, it says, reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man and he will love thee. So when you sit there and you take accountability, right, it shows your character. So like if you tell somebody to take accountability or you expect them to do it, and that's a normal expectation, that's a manageable expectation. But the issue is if they're not doing that, respectfully, their repentance is not your issue. People have to repent in order to take accountability. They have to see, oh my gosh, I'm wrong. They have to change their mind. They have to go above and beyond their thoughts and their perspective and be like, I could see it from your side. That is not your responsibility though. But your responsibility is to draw boundaries. So it's okay if somebody's like sitting there and they're not taking accountability, then you can still take accountability because you're doing it in front of God, not in front of these people. And then you can release them back up to God, basically. So a lot of people expect like, okay, I took accountability. Now you have to take accountability. It's like, but what if they're not ready? Some people literally don't see where they're wrong. They're blinded. It talks about in the Bible, the veil has to be lifted. There are people who genuinely think I am right. What the heck did I do wrong? And like, they may have presentable arguments of like, yes, I'm right. I'm good. This is where I was right. And it's like, you can't really like hold those people accountable because they can't even see where they're wrong. They have to first see where they're wrong. Right. So yeah, you guys have to be able to see that. Like you can't expect somebody who's prideful because they're prideful, meaning they're blind. You can't expect them to take accountability. Actually, that doesn't make sense. Like that's like asking somebody who's, you know, I don't know, like lustful to like not be lustful, or a drug addict to be like, hey, you just need to like realize that you're a drug addict. Like that doesn't do anything because in their mind, they may have the mindset of I can quit whenever I want. I'm not a drug addict. I'm not gambling. I just do this because I want to. Like they won't be able to see that they're deep in their depression, deep in their addiction. Like how do you make them see that? There's no way.
Let's say that I feel like you did something to me, but you have no idea of it. And you're living your life because you don't think that I've done anything to you. But I'm sitting here steaming every time I see you. I'm like, dude, that guy has Johnny has no idea how he made me feel or whatever it is. How do I know? But let's say also in your reality, you genuinely didn't do anything to me, but I've created this idea that you should be accountable for your actions, right? And then I approach you with it. How do you, like, what would you do in that situation if you genuinely feel like you didn't hurt me, but I'm demanding that you be accountable for your actions because you hurt me?
Yeah. So you have to have a conversation and you have to be, both parties have to be inviting of dialogue. So like it's communication, but communication is not just trauma dumping. It is revealing information with the exchange of healing. So like if it's not productive, then you don't even have to really talk about that. Like if a person is sitting there and they have their own thoughts, I can't compete with your thoughts. Like you can't even compete with your thoughts. There's people who have intrusive thoughts and they don't know why they feel a certain type of way, and then they want other people to like take care of them and fix that. How can I do that if you can't even fix it yourself? So the foundation has to be, do you actually like want to listen to what I have to say and hear me out? And if both people have that, then accountability is a byproduct of that. If you have to be able to communicate first, but people, what they do is they want other people to be accountable. They feel like I'm hurt, but they won't take accountability in that they may be deceived. They may be feeling something incorrectly. They just place their feelings up and then they expect other people to distrust their feelings and their perspectives when they themselves are not even doing it. Does that make sense? Right? So a lot of people do that where they sit there and they're just like, well, I'm right and I felt like this. And it's like, okay, but like, I'm going to keep the same energy. I'm right and I felt like this. So where's the middle line? There is no accountability when it's like that. There has to be a dialogue, not a monologue, or what they call a parallel monologue, where like one person's only speaking his point, the other person's speaking their point. There has to be receptive skills. There has to be, wait, I did that? Okay, I didn't mean that. Like, is it okay if you accept that I didn't mean that? No, you did mean that. You did this. Then it's like, I can't take accountability. I would advise you not to take accountability at that time. Because what that's going to breed is people to then be like, see, I knew it. I was right. Right. When you don't really feel like that, you still have to be authentic about it. You still have to be truthful. Right. So, but you have to do it with love too. You can't just be like truthful. And then, because if you're too truthful, it's like a thin line of like, truth without love is cruelty. Right. There's a lot of people who tell the truth, but they don't have love behind it. And then it's like, love without truth is enabling. You're like enabling somebody. Right? Like if you're loving someone so much, oh, like it's okay, honey, and you keep loving them, but you don't tell them the truth, that's enabling somebody. They could be going the wrong way. So there's ways where like you have to approach this, but all of it ties down foundationally to communication. Like you have to communicate. You guys have to be open to have a dialogue. But if there's any pride and you call it out, hey, to be honest, you're prideful. And this is why you're prideful. We're trying to work and be productive here. You're over here basically telling me you need to apologize so I can move forward. You need to basically do it my way. Then what's going to deter me from doing the same? I'll match the same energy. Well, I don't feel like I did that. You need to apologize for accusing me of that. Now it becomes, it's a dead end.
Can you explain the concept thing of learning to be wrong? Because when you just explained all that, I was thinking like, think about times. Have you guys ever just been like, okay, I hurt them. So, hey, I didn't mean to, but if it makes you feel better, not saying it like that. Yeah. If it makes you feel better, then I'm sorry. But like, you'd be in your head, you'd be like, you know what? Like, I'm sorry if it made you feel that way and you genuinely mean that. Yeah. So then how is that, to me feels like the love, but not the truth. It's like, all right, I'll say sorry because I know it hurt you, even though it'll probably help you more. Like, I don't care about it. So it'll probably help you. So then can you explain the concept of learning to be wrong so that you don't leave into the love, but then you're not being truthful?
I think when learning to be wrong is a difficult concept for a lot of people to grasp, but it's very simple, right? Being wrong just means you be wrong and the word of God has to be right. So like, let's say if you're sitting there and you feel like, you have to ask this question, right? Am I arguing with this person? Am I asking them for accountability so I can feel better? Or is this going to be something that glorifies God through that? Like if I ask somebody to take accountability and I know that this will benefit them in the long run to be able to preach the gospel, to be able to like just be a better human being in life, that's better than you need to take accountability so I could feel better. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like a lot of people, they focus on that. They're like, you say sorry so I can feel better. It's still at the end of the day, like selfish, right? It's still self-centered. So you have to ask, is the accountability that you're asking for somebody, right? Are you asking them to be gospel-centered, or are you asking them to take accountability because it's self-centered? If it's for self, they don't need to owe you any accountability. Like you actually have to bend, right? And that's where the concept of being wrong comes in. Okay, whatever it is, I'm still trying to exalt myself. So I'll use an example of like when I would debate people. So I knew the gospel, but like I would be harsh to people because if they don't understand it, I just write them off completely and I would judge them. And so pastor would then tell me, Johnny, if you do this, you're not going to gain any souls. But because I didn't want to feel bad and I didn't want to take accountability, I was like, yeah, but I'm still preaching the gospel. They have a hardened heart. And he's like, what are you saying right now? I'm telling you so you can gain souls, but because I didn't want to feel bad, I didn't take accountability. And then I weaponized scripture and I weaponized things to be like, well, I'm right, basically. And I didn't do anything wrong. So during those times, Pastor kept saying, you need to learn to be wrong. This is where this idea of being wrong in our own team, in our own everything, in your own marriages and stuff, you guys need to fight for each other, not with each other. And what I mean by that is being wrong. Okay, is this going to further the relationship? Is it productive or counterproductive? That's what you have to ask. Because what is the point of you guys bickering back and forth and staying stuck in this endless cycle of arguments just so that you can have your feelings validated? And feelings they're not valid because they change all the time. It's roller coastery, right? So I would say being wrong, the concept of being wrong is this. Am I advancing the kingdom through this? Am I keeping it gospel-centered? Or is it self-centered, right? If you're self-centered, you need to learn to be wrong. If it's gospel-centered, you can still be wrong, but pointing them towards the gospel. Like when people come up to me and they're like, why did God allow my child to die? I don't know. I'm not God. I didn't cause that, but I'll apologize on God's behalf. Hey, I'm so sorry that you went through that, right? Instead, I could easily go, well, I mean, maybe because you have some sins that you committed and it went down onto you. I don't know. I could say these mean things, right? But instead, what I said was to this lady in Sacramento, I was like, I'm sorry that you went through that. I don't have the answer for that, but we can, I pushed her towards the gospel. We can be wrong in that. Although this happened, we don't know what happened, but we can live for our kid. Although your daughter passed away, if she could speak to you right now, she wouldn't want you to be drinking because she was drunk at our event, and she wouldn't want you to be miserable every time you think about her. She would want you to be like, Mom, be happy. I'm not there. I'm sorry. You're depressed, but please be happy. Live for me, because your daughter would want you to be happy. I always tell my homies too, if I ever got smoked, you guys be happy. Don't be crazy. Don't try to retaliate. Just be happy, because that's my heart towards them. I don't want anybody to do a day in prison for me. I don't want anybody to lose their life for me. I want them to live their life for me, right? So in the same way, I was pushing this lady while being wrong, even though I wasn't the one who caused the death. I represented something, right, bigger than that. So I was trying to tell her, hey, it's okay, and pushed her basically towards the gospel. And now she, comes to church and, and reconciled that part inside of her heart. By us taking accountability, that also shows other people examples of taking accountability too. Like when Pastor would tell me, I'm sorry, Johnny. And I knew that he wasn't wrong about certain situations, but he would just say he was wrong. It then softened my heart a lot too, to be like, man, I don't got to be this rough. I know I'm just being stubborn right now. And I back off. Versus if he hardened, then I would harden more. Most of you guys will harden, and it just collide. It's crazy. But when a person becomes wrong, then peace flows, just like the war analogy I was using.
That's good.
Yeah.
You have anything to say?
No, I'm taking it all in.
Yeah. So how do you set boundaries for people who refuse to take accountability?
I think the number one thing, you have to tell them the truth, right? Start with telling people the truth, because like I said, love without truth is enabling, right? So a lot of people, they try to just super love on people. And it is a Christian concept to love on people, but it's also important to tell a person the truth, right? Because if you don't tell them, then what's going to happen is they're going to keep thinking that you're just giving them you're just giving them a sweet tooth, basically a spiritual sweet tooth. They only want to hear good things. Life is not like that, right? The second thing I would say is if you apologize, right? If you expect accountability from these types of people, then it's already going to be a losing battle, because they already have shown you their true colors. I'm not going to take accountability, right? Like I said, Proverbs chapter 9, verse 8 is very clear, right? It tells you that basically wise people, they will listen to you and accept the correction. Foolish people will look at your correction as condemnation, and then they won't be able to accept what you're saying. So yeah, again, they're not going to be able to, some people are just not going to listen to you guys. You could present the cold, hard facts. You could be loving. You could be kind. You could be mean. You could do all kinds of things. it's some people just don't take accountability. So you have to also be prepared for that. So what you have to do is not give up on them, but give them up to God, basically, right? So a lot of people give up on people like that. No, give up on your desire and standard of I need them to take accountability. Give up on that and then give them up to God and be like, God, you hold them accountable then. I can't do anything. Yeah.
And then what happens if they still don't change?
After all
Just
this,
a little add-on.
right?
It's the part 3,
It's possible. It's possible that you can do all of these things, love on people, give them the gospel,
draw your boundaries.
Everything we said, you applied, and it's possible because it's biblical. For example, Judas was loved on right next to Jesus. Jesus gave him bread, gave him food, and even told him, "You're going to deceive me." He still didn't listen. He hardened his heart until the very end. Pharaoh was another person, right? God has sent him so many chances, 10 different chances. He just didn't bend. So is it possible? Absolutely. Caiaphas the ruler saw the miracles, Pharaoh, a Pharisee, saw the miracles of Jesus, still hardened his heart to the very end, called Jesus Satan, etc., etc. There are people like this who have these pharisaical spirits, these unrepented, these reprobate spirits. Of course that's going to happen. But our job is not to, replace Jesus. Our job is to reflect Jesus. And what I mean by that is there are going to be people who sit there and they're going to do you dirty. Your job is not to try to save them or correct them. Your job is just to be like, all right, God's going to handle you. There's nothing else that I could do. That's what it means to live peacefully amongst all men. Because if you sit there and you don't try to make somebody take accountability, if you just give up all of them to the accountable one, which is God, you're not going to have any issues with people.
Well,
that's the true accountability. That's what he's saying, is that you're accountable to God. It's not up to you. If you're not over it, or you're like, well, he's not being accountable. It's like, well, you haven't truly reached accountability.
Agreed. What about if you're just a kid and you're stuck in a household, and your parent is a certain way and you can't avoid them. And there's just parts of them where you're just like, I can't have a conversation with you. I can't really draw a boundary because I'm under your jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to just give it up to God. And it's really not, it's living with said parent is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
How would you encourage somebody in that situation? Because at that point, I would stonewall, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's normal. Or you can believe in the word. Like Psalm 27, verse 10, right? It says, when my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. It's crazy. When you look at this scripture, it says, when my father, it doesn't say if. So it's like, we're all all parents, all children have had some kind of scar and trauma from their parents. Whether they meant to or not, it's just going to happen. So I think the most important thing is prayer. That's why God says your true parent is the Lord, right? In this scripture, the Lord will take it up. You take it up with God. God will also bear that burden for you. So the beautiful thing about God is that he's everywhere. He doesn't remove the pain. He steps into the pain with you, right? And that means you may be in this household, or you may be in a relationship, or you may be somewhere where you can't get out of it. That's a real situation. But you can't think that God is not there with you in that situation, right? So once you recognize that, then you're able to truly grow and be like, okay, I can give it up to God. My mother, for example, prime example, she was married to my dad. He's basically holding her hostage at one point, very violent person, drunk, alcoholic, etc. And inside of all of that, she leaned on her true husband, not her worldly husband, my dad, but on her father, which is God, right? So she was able to see this, it was concrete, like a flower out of the concrete, right? In the midst of all the chaos, there was peace that sprung forth, and it was so contagious that it poured into me, it poured into my brother, and it poured into my dad. It changed everybody. So, I mean, it's easy for people to see that and just be like, I can't avoid this. Oh my gosh, I'm miserable. But it's as they say, right? There's a saying that stars shine brightest in the darkness, right? In the darkest of nights. In the same way, you need all of that chaos to then be able to see that sliver of hope, that peace, that light, basically. So yeah, it's normal to kind of feel like that. Everyone has some sorts, everybody has their desert season. They have their like in the wilderness, right? Everyone went through that. Whether you're Christian or not, life is all about up and downs, ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys. This is what it is. It's not wrong to feel frustrated. It's not wrong to feel like angry. It's not wrong to not want to take accountability. It's not wrong to want other people to take accountability. But at the end of the day, like there's a reason why God is putting you in that position, and you should take accountability for that, to like understand, like, you know what, God, you could easily take me out of this. Why are you not doing that? Right? People don't even think about God during those times. They're thinking about, how do I get out of this situation? They're praying fix it prayers, not thank you prayers, not, alignment prayers, basically.
How do you deal? So when you told about your mom situation, like obviously your dad was abusing all of you guys. How do you deal? What would you say to a person on how to deal with people around them who aren't holding said aggressor accountable? Right.
Yeah. I think the number one thing is like to pray, right? And even if people are, not religious, right? This is an opportunity for us to kind of like pray about that, right? Like you could tell God, like, Lord, I feel unseen, but at the same time, please help me. Like, I know you see me. I know you see that I'm right in this situation. And if I'm not, then please give me the heart to see that I'm not right either, right? We need grace at the end of the day. So you can't expect people to like act a certain way, right? Like I used to do that. I used to have homies who were like, man, this dude did me dirty. Why are you guys still cool with him? I would feel like that, or I would be mad at my mom. Like, do you not see what dad has done to us? And it would almost be like people were in denial. But you have to recognize something. A lot of people they're affected by their trauma. They're affected by the same situation that you're going through too. And some people will just ignore that, right? That's their way of coping. Our way is to want people to be accountable. Some of us we also isolate, and cope this way. Some of us go out and go crazy. Like that was my way of coping with my trauma, and my dad not being held accountable was to go out and just flip things upside down and just be reckless. So everyone processes their trauma and processes like accountability differently. You can't expect somebody to like be on your side. That's actually like, that's not really biblical, right? It says it right here in Psalm 27, verse 10. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up, right? So you have to realize that, like, there's going to be people, not just fathers and mothers, cousins, uncles, families. They're going to do this because we're flawed, broken human beings by nature. We're people who mess up, and this world is messed up. And you have to recognize that. So acceptance has to come, basically. We have to learn to accept it. And if you can't, that's why you need a belief system. God is allowing this to then turn you back to him. There's some people like my situation. I had so much trauma, I couldn't accept it, but I had to bring it to like the feet of God, basically. And then he was able to heal everything. I tried to heal it through drugs, through women, through money, through penthouse, through materials, through the gang, through everything. I couldn't do it. The only thing that healed me was God. But until you recognize that, you're just gonna, I'm sorry to say, stay in maintenance mode. You're gonna maintain the anger that you have, feel better sometimes. And then, other days just be like, I'm not feeling it, and be super depressed. You're gonna live this loop. That's just the God honest truth. Take it from me. I've been through it.
And it's also kind of ties back to that original lesson of coming to the end of yourself.
Yes.
It's like people will ride that loop. People think that it has to be Johnny level to come to the end of yourself, but people could be riding, the teacup ride loop.
Yeah.
Johnny was riding whatever.
Goliath.
That's his life. But you're riding the teacup ride, which is that same loop.
Yeah, it's that roller
and it's
coaster.
just like, it's just interesting that it just comes in different phases.
Yeah.
And that's the trap too. People are always like, well, it wasn't as bad as Johnny. It's like, but you'll stay on the teacup ride for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all the enemy.
Man, accountability, it's accountability ties very heavily of coming to the end of yourself in 100%. A lot of ways.
Yeah. You can't take true accountability, I feel like, biblical accountability, if you don't come to the end of yourself. Like, there's just no way.
And learning to be wrong.
Yeah.
Also a very good concept that I've really pulled from this.
Yes. So every week we do these live recordings. It gets very intimate, very personal. I talk about a lot of things that I don't talk about on the podcast. And some of you guys may miss it. It's called the Discord main stages. However, we are placing these every week on our audio platforms. So you can listen to it on Spotify, you can listen to it on iTunes, and you guys could grow a lot more. It's just another way of us for just giving back to you guys, appreciating that you guys tune in and listen. So yeah, look out for those every week. We'll be adding those in.
It's only on audio platforms. So Spotify, Apple Music.
Yeah.
You said iTunes, but Apple Music.
Is it
And then
iTunes?
It's also
Amazon.
available on Pando.
Available on Pando.
American Online, Net Zero.
But yeah, it's audio only. So if you want an extra dose of unlearned wisdom, just make sure you go to the audio platforms and we'll pop up all the little icons. The link is in description.
And if you want to hear those live, make sure you join the Discord.
Yes. All the details of what we just mentioned will be in the description.
And it's completely free.
Completely for the expensive price of $3.99.
Free 99. So as we kind of wrap up this episode on accountability, what impact does social media have on accountability in terms of either people trying to hold people accountable or people holding themselves accountable? For example, I've been canceled before, many times actually. And all the times, I'm not sorry. But then it's like, okay, I have to be accountable because this mob is coming after me.
Yeah.
And actually you go through this all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't think social media makes people more accountable. I know that sounds crazy. That's my take. I think it produces fake and false accountability because a lot of it is performative apologies.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're trying to save face. They're not trying to change hearts. You get what I'm saying? Like they just feel sorry. It's kind of like King Saul when he apologizes only when he's caught or only when he messes up, right? Rather just don't apologize. Just be like, I mean, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Like that's just what it is. And then I think social media has affected the way that people view accountability too, because they think like mob justice is like accountability. It's like when we cancel, like cancel culture is how you keep someone accountable. Like that's just not true. Right?
Take away their money and their fame and their whatever, and we got them.
Yeah.
It's the court of public opinion. It's like everyone found Amber Heard guilty weeks before the trial ended. It's like,
exactly.
Never turd.
When you expose people, publicly, right? It's not a good thing because at the end of the day, like you could expose someone publicly, but like you don't know if they're transforming privately. You get what I'm saying? Like some people may not take it public and literally work on themselves like privately. A lot of Korean stars are like this, where they get canceled and they'll spend like 10 years. Somebody from Squid Game, I think, was like this. They messed up and they like took a 10-year hiatus and came back like better and renewed, and everyone just somehow forgot about them. You know, this mob mentality is not it, guys. It's not gonna, especially to people who don't care, like gang members like me. I don't care. People have been trying to cancel me from when I was freaking 12 years old from watching. Like, it doesn't matter. You know, at the end of the day, they've been trying to delete me, not just cancel me. Delete, all control, delete Johnny Chang. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, this is just, it's really sad. And like, social media is legit like a courtroom where like there's no judge and everyone is just like the hangman. That's literally what it is. Like, it's just like, look at him. He did bad, right? And everyone's like, yeah, he did bad. Yeah. And it's like, there's no room for like transformation. There's no room. Like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you say sorry, you look more guilty. If you don't say sorry, they're going to like try to squeeze it out of you. It's like, it doesn't matter. So I think it's really, really false. You know, at the end of the day, like I don't think social media makes people more accountable. I think social media, if anything, makes people less accountable. You can spin narratives and it makes people harden even more. Because if someone sits there, they can take accountability if the truth is revealed. But 9 times out of 10, it's like, this is my opinion, unsolicited opinion on what this person did. And so when that person sees it, he's not going to be like, you know what, you're right. Like, if that's completely off, he's going to harden and be like, that's wrong. And then it's going to look like he's not taking accountability. When the truth is, this person spun a narrative and has this preconceived notion to be like, this guy's doing this. It's like, it causes debates. It causes strife. It literally causes people to separate and divide. That's what the enemy does, is divide and conquer. Right. So our job is to, you know, and secondly, like, people are correcting for likes, not out of love. They don't correct out of love. They're like correct and go, look, guys, look at how great I am. You see, I went against them. You see that, guys?
So
It's
performative.
It's so performative.
That's such a funny overlap, the classic YouTube apology and how it falls into accountability. It's like, and we've seen really good ones and really bad ones. Have you guys seen like the ukulele video?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
The ukulele
that was wild.
Some are worse than I think. I don't want to name too many names, but some apology videos are just straight up suing other people. It's like the accountability, like you're saying, it's not to actually take accountability. It's because like, oh no, I can't make money playing Minecraft anymore. So I have to apologize for my literal crimes. It's like,
exactly.
That's not accountability.
Yeah, that's not accountability. They don't actually feel bad. Like I said, there's no private, like there's no remorse, right? They're just like, I gotta say sorry.
Do you think that social media is net negative or net positive?
In terms of accountability?
No, just in general. Like what it's doing to the world, how useful it is.
I think it's net negative.
But how much more net? Like let's say your hands are 50-50. Do like your left is negative?
I think
like,
it's 50-50.
Okay.
I actually think it's 50 because it depends on the person who's utilizing it. Like we utilize social media and I think we're doing it for positivity. We could use it for negativity. I was at one point using it when I was younger for negativity. Sure, promoting my gang, this and this and that.
Gooning.
That's horrible. Yeah, I was a goon back then. I was a goon. That's the difference. People don't know what that is. Back in my time, goon meant gangster. What's a goon to a goblin, right? Lil Wayne says that, right?
What's a gooner to
but
a
I bet you
goblin?
he's not going to say that now.
Yeah.
Johnny was gooning while Jeremy was gooning.
Yeah, but I think yeah, social media it's 50-50. They can be used good.
I think there's a small percent, the percentage of people actually using social media for their careers is way smaller, and I would say that's more maybe 50-50. I think it is net negative for the rest of the world.
Yeah,
because it's just a distraction.
Yeah,
most times
it's just caused so much dopamine. Like I feel like people's brains are ruined, like rotten because of social media.
Oh, there's some crazy studies. What's your opinion, internet guy?
I think I see where you're coming from, but I just think if all the businesses and brands and people that you say are using it for good or whatever was just off, and social media was just about so your grandma can see what you did with your friends on the weekend, or just to let everyone just what social media used to be. Let me go make a joke online. I'm not selling you anything or whatever it is, or just even good content like spreading the gospel or whatever it is, showing a song, whatever. Just back to that. I think it's a net positive because it just shares art, culture, ideas. Like back when people weren't spending their entire freaking lives on it, chasing likes. Like we said in another episode, why did the blue check mark destroy social media? It's for these reasons. It's because now people are just addicted to the gamified likes. I need this, I need blah, blah, blah. Until all of a sudden you get enough likes to where you got to take accountability for something. Oh, crap, I slipped up. Now the people who like my videos don't like them anymore. It's like, just... What happened to, I went out with my friends. Here's a cool picture. I'm going to tag the rest of my friends, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, but it's never that, though, because humans naturally want validation. Because let's say you didn't grow up with a dad, and you're like, I post this photo, and I get all my friends to like it. Ooh, I like that feeling. That's you'll like it's validation in general, whether or not social media is there. Yeah. It's like people just have ego, and it's like I
guess what I was saying is it used to not take up your entire life. Like I used to think of a Finsta. People would just have a Finsta, and if they could make one joke, like, oh, the teacher looks silly today, let me make a joke about it. And then those 3 friends laughed, liked it, whatever, and that's the end of it. Now people are like, how do I get 1 million people to find me the funniest person on earth? And it's like, what's the most extreme levels of this? It's like, that wasn't social media. It's like totally something else now.
100%.
But so I don't know. I think it's a net. I think now it's tipped into the net negative. I think it could eventually be a positive thing, but right now people went way too hard. We gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill. Slow down.
I think it'll always be a pendulum. At the end of the day, like it opens so many doors for me. So I think that it's here. Yeah, I think it's a crazy, incredible tool in certain ways. But I think it's like
that's what it is. It should just be utilized as a tool. Yeah, I think,
but
not
that's
something
so hard.
That's idolized.
It's like fishing with dynamite. It's like you just don't know, like it'll just explode in your face.
That's true.
That's true.
People treat like speaking of social media, people treat the comment section like the Bible.
Yeah,
legit. Like they'll be looking at it like, well, he said this. That must be true. That's the truth. If you spent as much time as you did in the Bible in the comment section, it would be crazy.
Dude, when you were talking about like brains melting, I think I told you about this story before. So, Diary of a CEO, he had these two really famous brain scientists on, and they did this study, and I could be butchering it, so go watch the episode. It was basically like how dangerous is AI to the mind, and this journal study they did is not peer reviewed, but Harvard or whoever released it ASAP because they're like, this needs to get out there while they're peer reviewing it. And they said that they had two groups. It was like 46 people in the test, and they split it down the middle. Half were allowed to use AI to write their papers or essays or whatever their assignments were. Half were not. And the half that used the essay or used AI, they were connected to some sensors. Their brain function dropped by 46%.
Jeez.
So they basically like there's no more critical thinking. And these brain scientists were saying how like the effect on that over time, there's going to be more dementia. You're just going to literally have a smooth brain. You're going to have like pudding for brain.
But I have a question. Which papers were better? Which papers were better? Were the AI papers better? I'm just
Probably
curious.
better.
I'm just curious.
Probably.
It could have been better.
No, there's no creativity problem.
Well, who knows? Yes, over time
I mean-
you would lose critical thinking, but it's like that's why people take this stuff on so easily. Sure, I'll use the AI because not only is it easier, sometimes it's better. It's like, dang,
Yeah.
why do you have to critically think?
Yeah,
We're
That's
going
why
down
guys
a quick
just read
hole.
your Bibles, man.
but the trap,
Yeah.
trap is mushy brains. And what they're saying is like this next generation is they're super scared for the next generation because kids are having less just like
Yeah.
street smarts. They're just like
Okay, you know what test I want
just
to run
blobs.
next? Here's the next test we're gonna run. Two studies, two test groups. They're each gonna write essays, just like this group. But one has a Bible, and one group doesn't get anything. We're gonna see which one has more brain. When the brain activity just spikes to the 300% brain activity all of a sudden.
Yeah, because they got the Holy Spirit.
777.
If you guys want, we have some fire. We literally have 7 other fire topics. But
So make sure to tune in next week.
yeah, tune in next week. Like, comment, subscribe. And if you're more vulnerable than Aaron, share what you think you need to be accountable for.
Yeah.
Something that you deep down inside, you know that you need to be accountable
Yeah,
for.
this is like the confession place. You can confess, no judgment.
I
Okay.
agree. I'll just get the ball rolling. I'll say.
You're going to say it?
I'll just say it's an
you-
addiction. It's an addiction, and
Okay,
I'll blame a lot of things on this addiction. Oh, it's just this, or oh, it's just that. And there's a few other things in life too, but it really just ties back to an addiction. And really,
His addiction of his pedicures.
yeah, it's a Pokemon addiction.
But can I say something? It was
Yeah.
super funny. There was this one, since we're at the end, we always say like, yo, write a comment that'll make people watch to the end. And someone wrote one funny. It was like, because it was the dating one. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe that was Johnny's body count. Or something like that.
That's good. That's
And I was like, what? I was like, I don't remember that. And I went to
it made you rewatch the
and then
episode.
I was like, I don't remember him saying. Oh,
So
my
he got you to watch
You
it.
got me.
That's so
You got me.
funny.
I was like, that was
That's
The comment was so good when you got Jeremy to
yeah.
rewatch the episode.
I was like, did he say something about
Guys,
that?
that's smart. I want to see more funny comments like that. Doesn't have to be
That's
funny,
funny.
but just good. What's going to get people to watch to the very end? Now that you've made it, we're at the end of the episode, gang. Leave a comment right now. Think what's going to get
I
people.
feel
to
like we're
watch.
just gonna create angry viewers.
It's about
They
accountability.
keep lying to me in these comments.
No,
Yeah,
because
don't
once they
lie.
get here, they become a part of it. Okay,
Yeah,
I made
yeah,
it to the
yeah,
end.
yeah, okay.
If you made it here looking for the last weird comment, now you need to go leave one. Okay.
And by the way, we'll probably insert an announcement earlier in the episode, but as always, we're doing a lot of events after service. So by the time this is posted, we've already done Orange County. We're probably in El Paso, or that just finished. And we're going to be in New Orleans.
Yep.
And then we're also looking to do Florida sometime at the end of the year. We want to do maybe Bay Area,
Bay
Seattle,
Area.
Chicago.
Seattle, Chicago.
Whoever texts in the most, that's probably where we'll go.
If we said any of those cities or anywhere else, text in afters to the number on screen.
Mhm.
Or if you're a church who can host the event, or a vendor who wants to come out and show out your city, which you have, please text in either text host or text vendor to the number on screen. And also, this will probably be out by then, but all this content is coming out too. We have OC, the video from OC will come out on September 15th ish, or around there. So if you're watching this before then, look out for it. If you're watching this after then, go check it out.
Yep.
And it'll be really interesting because we were talking today about Johnny and his dad and their past history. And we're actually going to go relive some of that. We're going to go visit some of the
Wow.
places in OC where a lot of that went down. And we may or may not have some special guests. So if you're watching this, go check that out. Or if it's not
Yes.
September 15th-ish, then wait for that.
Well, we got a lot. We're really focusing on making nice YouTube content instead of just live stream clips. So there's a lot of it. We have a lot of videos in the tank that are going to come out. A lot of sermons, a lot of good stuff. So go follow the Johnny Chang YouTube channel.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Amen.
Well, big gulp say. See you later.
Bye.
Well, you want to pray us out, good sir?
Yes, let us pray. Father God, thank you for allowing us this episode on accountability, Lord. Many people struggle with accountability. If there are brothers and sisters who have broken hearts and have these postures where they cannot truly shake the selfishness, the stubbornness, the heart to not be accountable, please, God, I ask that you allow them to overcome this. We all have things that we have to stay accountable for, but we're very thankful, Father God, that you sent Jesus to be the accountable one for all of our sins. You did not impute our sins unto us, but you imputed it unto Jesus and traded that righteousness for our sins, Father God. For that, we're so thankful. And please allow us to mirror that heart, Father God. We don't want to replace you. We want to reflect you. Thank you, Father God. We leave everything in your hands, and in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you. Yeah, Net.
Thank you very much,
Gatekeeper.
Nick.
Sleeps gatekeeper.